Hello, and welcome back to Your Take is Excrement. I am happy to say that we are in the same room. That's right. I am staring at you.
Physically
What's
here.
up?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm Neo.
And I'm May Leitz from the
May.
internet. Yeah. Hi.
And we're doing a podcast.
That's right.
You may notice that there's no movie title in the title of this.
Well, yeah, we're in a postseason sort of vibe now. So we were here and we were just like, shit, we should do just a little mini-sode. We were talking about doing some mini-sodes about stuff that we are interested in, but doesn't necessarily
Pertain to a movie
in a specific sense.
Yeah. So we're gonna, for the next month or so, we're gonna be doing these little
mini-sodes. Let's call them.
I'm hoping to have them be a suitable length. But that's just what we're gonna do for the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Now
while we're making improvements.
Right. We're gonna be working on a bunch of stuff. But yeah, no, something worth mentioning. I wanted to give the briefest shout out to the folks over at r/Your Take is Excrement. They're actually really great over there. I did an AMA the other day.
Shit, I'm gonna do an AMA when this episode releases.
You should do one. But no, because my weird thing, people hate me for this, but historically I've always been like this, where I'm intentionally very standoffish on the internet, on social media. I'm not like that in person. I'm try to be friendly, and also, my content is very friendly. But whenever people are like, hey, I really love what you do. Could you maybe do an episode on this? I'm like, fuck no, fuck you. No, I'm not gonna do it. But then I probably will.
Yeah. We're not doing episodes on femcells or toxic femininity.
No, good
I can't
Lord,
confirm.
I do not even want to. Yeah, that whole rabbit hole was some shit. But before we get too deep in the paint here, you want to fucking.
Yes, we'd like to thank our sponsors. First up, we have Machine Age Productions, and their RPG hashtag iHunt.
Yeah.
They also have something on in the short film collective Nix on Shudder. But primarily, we're back to advertising hashtag iHunt. Sit down with your friends or strangers on the internet, or friends on the internet, and play some hashtag iHunt.
Yeah.
Go slay some monsters. Go get oppressed by capitalism, but pretend instead of for real.
Yeah.
And yeah, go check it out.
There you go.
They release new content literally all the time with zines and other stuff. But yes, we'd also like to thank Ambient Dream Studios.
Yeah.
It's an Etsy store. Go get Etsy stuff. I know. Listen, I think the Venn diagram of people who listen to this podcast and people who buy cute shit on Etsy is pretty much a circle.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Since you're already in there, just go get some. Go get some cool.
Yeah.
Cover your walls with cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then I do want to do the briefest of I am soon to restock on books. People are constantly asking me. It's like fucking. Let me tell you what, friends. Publishing your own book is kind of like cutting off your own arms. At a point you're like, wow, this was an idea I had. So I don't know. It's difficult to get everything from the factory and then shipped out in time for everything. So it's just been the slowest process. And I think a lot of people are under the impression that I'm like a store and I just got a shitload of these books just stocked on my shelves. But no. Over 3,000 copies of Fluids have been sold. And I have personally mailed them. All of them. Do I sound like I'm going crazy? Anyway, it's fine. What I'm saying is order the book. You can order it from nickspheres.bandcamp.com/merch. You can also get it at Amazon now. Yeah. You can just dead ass get the paperback on Amazon. Which might be the better option if you're international, because it takes me fucking 3 months to get international shit to the people who ordered it, because shit takes goddamn forever now. And Amazon can do it in a week.
Yeah.
So maybe head on maybe head on over there. Also there is ebooks and shit too. But no, I'm not ready to announce it yet, but I'm halfway through another.
I'm not ready to announce it, but let me tell you.
Well, I'm telling you.
Oh.
I mean, like, everybody at the podcast is just also here. It's like they're at my house, like, watching my...
It's like that
my
scene
voice crack like
it's like
that?
that scene in Mulan where there's all the, like, ancestor spirits.
Yes, they're like the ancestor spirits all around me at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, I've been working really, really hard on getting that done. I have, like, and the audiobook is finished, but I'm still waiting on the editor. There's a lot of variables over here, my friends.
Yeah. So we were going to do this podcast on tropes, but I've become distracted. And do ancestor spirits and/or ghosts add to barometric pressure?
Well, okay, why don't we just make the episode about ghosts? Because, like, listen, talking about tropes is fun, but I kind of want to talk about something stupid.
Yeah.
Because we never do that. So the topic of the episode, ghosts.
I think we talk about stupid things all the time, but never off topic stupid.
Whatever this episode is, it's like, your take is Excrement. Ghosts. All right. So, what is your hot take on ghosts? Tell me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if they add to the barometric pressure of a room. Like do ghosts like weigh down the oxygen ever so slightly?
Yeah, that's
or are they completely like incorporeal?
That's a great fucking question. Yeah, I don't know what ghosts like if they serve a natural function. See what when I think of a ghost, I think of like a Karen, you know what I mean? Who's like, I'm not ready to die. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And is like, I want to speak to the fucking manager. I'm not leaving until I speak to the manager. And that's a ghost. And that's why you never see black people ghosts, because every fucking ghost is some pale as fuck white bitch who's like, no, I'm not gonna fucking die. I had a boyfriend, god damn it. Or I had kids and they drowned. I'm not gonna fucking die. And so that's how I always picture it in my head. And I know that that's like the crudest possible take on ghosts.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of reverence coming from us.
I don't want to go to Samsara. Like, holy shit, okay.
I don't know. My take on ghosts, and actually I've been increasingly thinking about the physics of the metaphysics, right? Mm-hmm. Where if energy or matter cannot be created or destroyed, like how do you have eternal metaphysics without? I don't know. I've just been cooking on that, right?
Yeah. Well, what is the
like physically in terms of transfer of heat and energy between molecules?
See, you're thinking about it on a scientific level. I'm thinking about it on a psychological level. Like, I'm looking at ghosts and going, what the fuck is wrong with them? You're looking at ghosts and going, how is that?
How do they work?
How did that happen?
Can we vivisect a ghost real quick?
Yeah. Any ghosts wanna volunteer? No, like, I don't know. Ghosts, it's weird. Because it really is just, I mean, typically the way that it's portrayed, and maybe this is not the way it is. I don't fucking know. I don't personally know.
Only one way to find out.
I don't personally know any ghosts. But like Poltergeist, right? Ghost comes in, has a big tantrum, fucks up your room. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, thanks, asshole. So it's just like, that's the way in popular media ghosts have always been portrayed. There's like some angry fuck who's like, I'm gonna destroy this room, and they can't actually do anything.
Do you think that
all the other books on the ground?
Think that all the other ghosts are like, this fucking guy?
I know,
fucking asshole.
Oh my god, chill the fuck out, dude.
They're like watching.
It's not that big a deal.
They're all like, oh shit, Little League is on. You want to watch kids like trip and eat shit, and all the other ghosts are like, hell yeah. And they're like watching this, and there's just one asshole ghost is like, I'm gonna trash a fucking room when no one else is watching.
Well, and like, you watch ghost shows from like the 90s and 2000s, like that aired on TV, and they're always so contradictory because there's like somebody on there who's like, I like to believe in ghosts because I like to think that after we die we live forever.
Right.
And then in the same breath they'll be like, but apparently the only way you get to become a ghost is if you have a terrible fucking life. And then you're like, damn, now I'm a ghost. And then they do this thing back and forth where they're like, do ghosts have sentience or are they just on a repetitious pattern? And it's like, if they're on a repetitious pattern, you're basically talking about someone with dementia. So ghosts are basically just weird people with dementia who just float around all the time, and they just do the same thing over and over and over. Or they have complete sentience and are making actual choices. And at that point, you're implying that after death, you have free will. There's a lot of variables.
Right. I feel like the average ghost stan, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who believe in ghosts don't have a lot of like there's not a lot of thought put into it, right?
No, like absolutely not.
Even people who get paid a ton of money to make ghost shows on TV don't have like a coherent approach.
They don't have a consistent narrative on it, what they are or how they exist. They literally are just walking into dark rooms where people said they saw some old person once, and they're like, all right, let's set up all of our gear. We got all of this very professional equipment to objectively determine that sometimes there's an electromagnetic thing, and occasionally for 5 seconds there will be a blip on this machine, and sometimes a fly flies in front of the camera. Very scary.
Well, it's just like, if this is my eternal soul we're talking about, like I don't want short, quick, simple answers with no follow up. I want like depth and brevity. Like I want more than just like, well, you just kind of float around and can be a dick.
And it's like, what? No, that's not a very... Well, yeah, what is the experience? What's the metaphysical experience of being a ghost?
Sit in a room and say the same thing so that some jackass might pick it up on one of those scanners.
Exactly. Like
I can shoot ectoplasm at people. I don't know.
Yeah, like imagine that your whole life, like your whole bit now is whenever Zach Bagans walks in the room and sits down with a tape recorder, you come up to him and you have to yell like over and over and over for him to pick it up on his stupid little radio device, you saying, "Get out."
I think the biggest evidence of ghosts is a ghost hasn't told Baggins or whatever his fucking name is. Zach Bagans. So a ghost hasn't told Zach Bagans that like there's like hidden treasure in the middle of fuck off nowhere. And so then the end of the episode is just him in a fucking hole, like covered in dirt.
There wasn't any treasure.
And he's like, I gotta get deeper. I gotta keep going.
I gotta find the treasure.
He's like 12 feet deep already. There's like an OSHA guy actively writing an entrenching violation for him.
Oh my god!
Because his walls aren't the right gradient.
See, that's the thing. Like, people do ridiculous shit because of ghost things. Like, have you seen Demon House, which is the Zach Bagans documentary feature film? Have you avoided all of his media?
I avoid all.
Okay.
So the one I tried is Achievement Hunter did a ghost hunting show where half of them genuinely believed in the bit and were doing the Zach Bagans thing, and the other half didn't believe in ghosts. So they would split off in like the two teams, and like half the teams would be like, hello, what's wrong? Like we're here to help, and the other team would be on the other side of their house, like, come on, you fucking ghost bitch! I'm kicking your walls. What the fuck are you gonna do? Come on, haunt me, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so we should watch Demon House as soon as this is over, because it's fantastic. And when I say it's fantastic, I mean, so when somebody jumps to the weirdest possible conclusion. Well, so basically what's
like the anti-Occam's razor.
Yeah. What is the most ridiculous possible solution for this? So
Occam's flat surface. So
my homie Zach Bagans bought a haunted house that supposedly is very haunted. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I bought this house, so I got to make a documentary about it, I guess. Apparently a lot of people see ghosts in this motherfucker, so I'm going to just see some ghosts in this motherfucker.
Right.
And it is him making the absolute most insane assumptions. And then another hour passes. So the thing is like, right, it's kind of like this. Somebody makes a bad assumption. Uh-huh. And then because they made that bad assumption, they make a shitload of a series of choices.
Right.
And those series of choices are equally bad decisions.
Right. Well, you gotta look at all of the possible choices and then make the worst one.
Well, and so on a documentary level, it's fascinating because like he makes a really ridiculous assumption immediately upon the start of the film,
right?
And then bases the entire movie on the fact that he thinks that assumption is 100% correct.
Remember that I did see that one bit where he went to Skinwalker Ranch and they broke open that concrete room and be like, I think these are like fetal bones, or they could be alien bones or fetal bones. You know, where they were sacrificing babies in this room. That's why they had to wall it up. And they sent the bones to a lab, and it's like, yeah, it was like a rat that was in there and died. You know, they're like these have to be alien bones or fetal, like human fetal babies that got sacrificed.
Yeah, clearly.
And the lab's like, it was a rat. Like I used to watch the I never liked any of the ghost shows, but I loved all the cryptozoology shows.
Oh yeah, those because they're always like, it was a rat.
It was a rat, right? Well, it's like there's this like random ass dumbass bullshit like lake in Wisconsin, and like we have the second Loch Ness monster here, and they like put on scuba gear, and they're like they find a piece of like dead fish at the bottom, and like, is this evidence of the Wisconsin Loch Ness monster?
Is this the guy?
We sent it to a lab. We'll find out at the end of the episode. And they'll like play the credits, and at the very end it was like, yeah, this was actually like a piece of salmon.
Just a salmon.
Just a salmon.
It was just a pretty big salmon.
No, yeah, and it's like found it's a Bigfoot, and it's like, yeah, it was deer fur. Like it's like yeah, we were driving to the lab, and some like hunter stopped us and was like, yeah, it's fucking deer fur.
Yeah,
right.
Well, it's kind of like the Goatman Woods back when we were in Denton. Like,
yeah,
you know, if it would have just been called the Woods,
yeah,
we would have been like, wow, the woods are kind of eerie.
Yeah, and it's
but
like
because they called it the Goatman Woods, it was constantly like, where's the Goatman at?
Right. Well, and like weird, it's like weird fucked up stuff happens at Halloween, and then you go in Halloween,
and nothing fucking weird happens.
No, it's a bunch of drunk frat dudes like just being bros. And someone like stumbled upon one of them being a jackass and got terrified, not realizing it was a group of people doing the same thing they were doing.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, remember, because it's like every time we went on Halloween, there were just other people.
Yeah.
And imagine like the kind of person who's primed to discover a cryptid and the paranoia that comes with that.
Yeah.
Where you like hear a frat bro like making like weird noises and like stomping.
Imagine
it's a cryptid. Boom.
Imagine being a cryptid. I'm sure that the parasocial relationships people form with you have to be suffocating to deal with.
Being a cryptid on like browsing Tumblr.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm Mothman. Oh my god. Oh my god. They have me fucking everybody on the internet. Oh my god.
Why is there a picture of me having sex with a Fresno Nightwalker?
I didn't even know it had that hole. Oh my. Anyway, is it like at the bottom of its weird little sack body?
I'm trying to remember
I'm trying
to remember how bugs reproduce.
How bugs reproduce?
Yeah, my knowledge of biology is failing me.
Well, that's...
Well, I know the queen lays the eggs, but do they get fertilized? Anyway, who cares?
Sometimes, you know.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, no. Like... So we kind of got off topic, but we were talking about Demon House, and we were talking about ghosts, and so like Zach Bagans never sees anything scary, and nobody does in the house he bought, and but one night he sets up a bunch of GoPros and he goes in there alone, and he's just laying there in pitch black, and he's just talking to himself, and he's just like, I'm in the living room. I'm looking for ghosts. If you're in my house, why don't you come fuck with me, dude? And like the ghost doesn't show up, but he does pretend a couple times that he sees shadows. But of course, when you're in the pitch darkness, you're gonna see some shadows.
Yeah.
So because of this, he goes to the eye doctor later. Unrelated. Goes to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor says that he needs prism glasses because he's been staring at screens too long, which is a common thing that happens to video editors and people who work on TV.
Right.
And so his eyes kind of, his depth perception was really fucked, so he had to wear prism glasses for the rest of his life. And he said at the end of the documentary that one night I stayed in the living room caused me to need to have prism glasses. And he's not wrong, because staring at the screen for fucking ages editing your feature film is pretty detrimental to your vision. But a ghost did not fuck up his depth perception.
Well, what I thought you were gonna say with that is he's like, yeah, I got these glasses, and then it's like I can't see ghosts anymore. It's really weird.
Now I can't see them.
Now I can't see them.
God damn it!
I fixed my eyes, and they just stopped showing up.
I fixed my eyes.
Are my glasses possessed?
Oh my
God! Is there
God.
a ghost in my glasses? Remember that one episode that I watched over y'all's shoulder where they were like, this is the house of rapist McGee. He got executed for raping 1 million women. And like in the house, and it's like, I think rapist McGee wants to talk to my wife alone. Let's all leave the room and leave my wife to rapist McGee or whatever. It's like let's pimp out my wife to a ghost. Let's see if that works.
Well, and like at the end of the documentary, because of the glass, so okay, he heard that a bunch of people moved out of a house because it was supposedly possessed by a demon or some shit. So he made the assumption that the house was possessed by a demon. Mm-hmm. Instead of thinking that there was mold in the house or there was some other problem. Even though it was in a low-income area, there's all this stuff. He makes the assumption that, yes, in fact, it was possessed by a demon. Then he talks to a demonologist, and the demonologist is a crackpot crazy person, and that he's like, hey, my dude, how many demons you suppose are in here? And the guy's like, I bet there's 500 demons in this motherfucker. So then Zach Bagans agrees with him and goes, yes, there's like 500 fucking demons in this house. Then because of that, he brings a bunch of people in and then films for years, and over the course of years, one of his friends dies by suicide, which has nothing to do with the house. That's literally because of their relationship problems and their problems. And another guy gets like a cancer problem, and it's like, well, he didn't get cancer from hanging out in a house for 15 minutes. He got cancer from a lifetime of
smoking cigarettes
or whatever the fuck it is that he does. And so, okay, like it's just diminishing the causes of all of these actual literal problems and then exploiting them by being like, see, this is evidence of the 500 demons. And then he goes, I'm not going to have any of my friends come to this demon house anymore because they keep dying by murder, suicide, or getting cancer. So I'm going to go. And then he's like, it even affected me. See, now I have prism glasses. And so he's like, one of my friends, murder, suicide. Another friend, fucking cancer of the whole body. Then me, slight vision problem. Like, minor vision problem. And then because of this, all of the assumptions that I've just told you he made, he hires a bulldozer team to fucking knock the house down. And he's like, this is the only way. And then a bunch of religious people protest him and are like, don't knock the house down. You'll let the demons out.
Hey.
And then because of all of this, he says, warning, the film you've just seen is cursed because it was made in that house before they destroyed it. And now that they've destroyed the house, the demons are flying around the earth looking for anyone who's watching the documentary Demon House. And it's going to give them like murder-suicide cancer or bad vision.
You just be the 501st person to watch it.
Exactly.
Right? The first 500, they get hit with the demons. They're fucked, right? You watch it after 500, you're good to go. No more demons. They've all been used up.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Honestly though, like the whole thing of like, I'm going to like the anti-Occam's razor thinking, it kind of incredibly annoys me.
Yeah.
Cause like, it's like at work, it's like this piece of equipment isn't communicating with this piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I'm going to check the cord. And then my coworker's like, what if I went to a random chord that has nothing to do with that and relabeled it? It's like, how is that either helping or the cause.
Right.
Like, how did you get how did you get there?
Yeah, well, and it's just like it comes across like people who were never really taught how to think about things.
Right.
I don't okay, there's no right or wrong way to think. I don't know. And a lot of people, like, you know, they're a product of their upbringing, so it's like, well, what do you expect?
Right.
You know, for instance, like, I know people who were brought up on Fox News, even though they personally are like, yeah, fuck that, I hate that. They still will do and say all the shit that was on that channel without realizing that that's where they even got that opinion.
Yeah, and I think we're not trying to come after anyone's belief in anything. We're just saying it's like...
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with believing
ghosts. It's best to
ghosts.
think critically about your beliefs. There's, like, you know...
Exactly.
Like, it's this, like, a Kierkegaardian thing where he's like, yeah, if you have belief, you should probably just really critically think about it. Like, you know, why would you waste your time having, like, a half-formed belief?
Exactly. It's healthy to investigate the root cause of your beliefs.
But I think it is fair to say that, like, critical teaching in early development, like teaching kids in early development, critical thinking is very important.
Absolutely. But I don't know if that necessarily gets rid of ghosts as a thing. But I do think that there's this, like, kind of growing weird divide between, well, and I don't know, you know, the 4-quadrant fucking thing where it's like, okay, there is the leftist mumbo jumbo salesman, right? In one corner, which is like, hello, I like astrology and rocks, and I am on the left, and I will be a charlatan until I'm dead. And then there's the, I'm very rational and I'm on the left and I think that this is fucking stupid, and also I don't understand why don't we just, like, practically do all this shit. And then on the right there's the right-wing spiritualist who's that's an amazing person, by the way, like an amazing personality.
The whole, like, snake cults.
I think that aliens did come visit the Aztecs, and they gave them technology that then Hitler later found in the ice, and he harnessed it, and he's not dead. Hitler is not dead. He's been secretly running the ice base SS, trying to rebuild UFO technology, and he's actually the cause of all the flying saucers. Bigfoot is a trans-dimensional traveler that, you know what I mean? And fucking this person, and you're like, what?
On a quick side note, I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's incredibly funny to me how much we believe Nazi scientists and generals. Like, it's like after we executed a bunch of Nazis and we're like, hey, now that we're done with those guys, what'd you do in the war? And they're like, I made stealth aircraft, because if you think I made stealth aircraft, you'll hire me to try to make stealth aircraft for you, which will fail because we don't have the secret Nazi stealth composite that I don't know for some reason, right? Like, it's like, so you see someone shoot 5 people and they put the gun to you and they're like, so, what'd you do with the Nazis? Like, daps, nothing. I was perfect.
Right. Well, and I was watching, do you know who Ilsa Koch is? I think Koch.
COH?
C-O-C, or K-O-C-H.
Yeah.
Is it
Koch?
Koch. All right.
Koch.
Ilsa Koch.
There's supposed to be a
Koch. Anyway, so I don't know how to pronounce things, and if anybody in the comment section is like, actually, this is how you pronounce it, I'm gonna fucking strangle you. Anyway,
the Englishization is Coke.
I literally don't care.
That's fair.
Like, I'll learn one day from an actual German person who I'm talking to. But anyway, yeah, no. I was watching that woman's Nuremberg trial yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I was watching her Nuremberg trial is because the significant bit about her is that she has, like, she would cut people's tattoos off and then keep their skin and then make lamps out of them. And she's just like this woman that looks like, you know, she looks like a fucking Karen. You know, she's just like, oh damn, I got caught with my tattoo lamps. You know what I mean? She's just got like the worst fucking hobby. And so like it's hard not to imagine her as like one of those like people that I would refer to as like, yeah, I don't know, like I don't even know. But like you go to a fucking art festival, right? And there's like some, you know, right wing as fuck woman who's just like, I love Trump and I make skin lamps. You know what I mean? Like I make tattoo lamps on dead skin.
Skin lamps. I also have some jewelry.
Yeah, I make jewelry. And,
we have some
check
crocheted.
out my rocks. What is your sign? What is your spiritual sign?
We have some crocheted baby hats over here.
Now, Bigfoot is a transdimensional traveler, y'all. And
Bigfoot's
aliens are real.
Bigfoot's gonna be here next week.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's gonna be here next week, and he's gonna tell us about President Trump.
Oh, he's gonna tell us why he's voting for Trump.
Bigfoot's Trump's vice or
his running mate,
his vice president in the shadow government.
Oh right, yes. And he's also a reptile, apparently.
A furred reptile.
Well, and I know that a lot of people will be like, well, the roots of all of that are in like Nazi SS racism and shit like that, and like, you know, weird anti-Jewish conspiracy. And this is all true. This is all very, very true. But I guess the reason I brought this up was just because like I think that the leftist spiritualist is very funny to me. But it's also like absolutely the worst kind of person I've experienced, because they're just like I was at I've been doing music shows, like I've been touring, and I did a show in Denver, and this guy was like, man, I fucking hate white fucking suburban leftist like people, because they're always just like with their magic rocks, they come into your fucking neighborhood, you know, they buy up everything, they gentrify the shit out of it, they take everything away from like the inner city people and the fucking marginalized people in the area, and then when people are like, hey, fuck you, I'm gonna literally kill you, they go, namaste.
Nah.
And it's like, god damn, has anything been more right? Jeez.
Well, no, they missed a step of the white people complaining about marginalized people not being there anymore, and talking about how tragic it is that that this has been marginalized while they sip their latte or whatever. Not to fall in that stereotype, but I do also hate those people. One time we had a missionary conference with my parents when I was like a child, and there were these people, and they were hosting a talk on how we can improve donations and like improve the wealth flow into impoverished nations. These motherfuckers had a basketball court inside their fucking house, right? Like wood, like an actual, like, you know, the wood floor, the proper sized shit. Like their house is that fucking big, and they're sitting there and they're talking about it's like how we can, you know, how we can improve the flow to impoverished nations. It's like, you're the fucking problem. Getting rid of you is the answer.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
We're going to be talking about wealth equality. And if you look here's my basketball court. We built it for my son, but he doesn't use it anymore.
Well, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's so funny how the same people who are super duper worried about the great replacement thing are the same people that go into black areas and buy up all the property and then slowly take over, and then they're like, no, this is a white area, this has always been a white area, and then like the black people are like, you kicked us out of our homes, where do we go? And then nowhere is the answer, and then homelessness starts, and then those people start to slowly die because of, you know, dereliction, and then the white people don't. So if we're talking about people coming in and, I don't know, replacing people,
right,
I would say that gentrification. So this is what I mean, like where there's like,
listen,
there's always the way something actually is, and then there's the way people want to believe that it looks. That's completely wrong. And usually I find that people blame other people for the thing that they are the most guilty for.
Right.
Just like on its face.
Yeah, well, it's like every accusation is a every accusation is a confession.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Which I don't know. the way this all ends up manifesting is really interesting. I think we took a turn somewhere and left ghosts behind, but we need to come back to
ghosts.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Now we're talking about ghosts.
We're now talking about Ghost. It's a Swedish metal band. I'm sure you haven't heard of them. They just released a new album. It's pretty good.
I doubt that.
No. They're not inspired by Catholicism. They're actually. It's like motherfuckers. No,
yeah. Let me tell you what. If
someone explains Ghost to me, like they aren't just the worst version of Powerwolf, so I will lose my mind.
I have a story. One time, I used to work for a press junket for a long time. And basically, I'd get press passes to goddamn everything. Like, I would get passes to go to fucking conventions and festivals and all kinds of shit and go in there and just talk to everybody and take pictures and interview people. But it was more of like, you'll never be able to find any of my writing, so don't look because you won't find it. But basically, the bit was that I would do kind of a Gonzo journalist experience where, I mean, and of course I was never even remotely like a Hunter S. Thompson in intensity. I more mean that
you never did ether?
I didn't. I will admit that. But no. I would go to these events and I would sort of do these write-ups where I was like, here's all the weird things that happened while I was at this event. And that's what I mean about Gonzo. I wouldn't go there with the purpose of being like, check out my exclusive interview with Sid Haig, or something like that. It was always just like, Sid Haig was ordering a hot dog and I watched him take a bite of it, and it was a really strange experience. Like that kind of shit.
Sid Haig eats a hot dog like a psychopath.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So one thing that happened, I was at a horror convention, and Doug Bradley was there. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
So he's Pinhead in the Hellraiser movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so he was just standing there, old, slow, tired, bald, scary looking. Walk over to him. And I'm like, there's no one in line, so I'm like going to talk to him about some shit, pick up a couple of weird, he says some weird shit, and then I go, ha ha ha, I get to write that, I get to write about this, and I'm on my way over there when something infinitely more weird happens. Like, I'm on my way to him, I get up to him, I say hello, I go, yo, can we do a picture? Because I always would do a picture first, because it was always just like, get this shit out of the way. So I do the picture. I go to do the picture when the Swedish metal band Ghost walks around the corner and are surrounded by security. And they are, in fact, the actual band. And like, everybody goes, what the fuck? Like, at the same time. They were in town that night, and they were like, shit, we gotta go to this horror convention. Which is why. Anyway. So, they run up to Doug Bradley, and then Papa Emeritus 2, I want to say, it was a long time ago, was like talking to Doug Bradley, and I'm standing there, waiting for this picture to happen. And then Doug Bradley turns to me, he's like, I'm going to take a picture with them, and then I'm just going to go back to the hotel, so I'll see you later. And I'm like, you got it. And I walk away and watch them take a picture, and then Doug Bradley fucks off.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, I just got fucking sidelined by the band Ghost. And then, like, infamously, I walked over to the band Ghost, and talking to Papa Emeritus 2, I was like, my dude, you want to sign? Can we sign something? Can I take a picture of something? And he's like, no, I don't have a pen. I never have a pen. And I was like,
it doesn't flow well with the Pope robes.
And I was like, interesting, no pockets. I get that. See you later, man. And fucking he leaves. And then one of the nameless ghoul guys is like hanging around, and I like walk over to him, and I'm like, hey man, what's the vibe? How are you? And he's like, I'm not supposed to talk. I just thought that was so funny.
Because he's in the band Ghost, or because he's Swedish?
I don't know. It's great. Probably because he's Swedish. but yeah. So there's some more ghost discourse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to ghosts.
Okay. This is I feel like this is a very matter of fact, obvious question, but we're gonna hit it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know, I'm still working on the precursor question in the do I believe just in general.
And is anything real? What's happening?
Anyway, so I still
haven't figured out reality. I haven't started to think about metaphysics.
After I wrestle with do I believe, then I will wrestle with in ghosts. But no, I don't know. I see. But here's the thing. It goes back to like I was thinking with like the transfer of energy and matter and shit, where it's like, well, I want to line up my metaphysical beliefs with the laws of physics, right?
Yeah.
Is that unhinged? Is that a deranged thing to do? Where it's not like it's like I don't want to be like the laws of physics. There are no metaphysics, but I want to be like, how do I make metaphysics work with physics? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's presuppositionalist theism.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the thing?
What, assuming like just the base assumption there is a God?
Working on many base assumptions and then starting from the base assumptions.
Right.
So like, it's not assuming there's a God, it's assuming there's a Christian God. And,
right.
And it's, more specifically, it's assuming that there is a God in their mentality of what that would entail. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying that like there is or isn't a God, but more specifically, it's when things get so hyper specific like that, where it's like, well, is there or isn't there a God? It's more like, did Jesus die for my sins? Which is like way, like, we haven't even gotten past the very initial theistic question. And,
right.
And most people have a very hard time describing what exactly God entails. And then because of that, a lot of people have this like weird thing where like talking past each other. So presuppositionalist theism in my brain is the assumption that evangelical beliefs on their faces are true, even though they're backed up by literally nothing. Like, because the Bible itself doesn't even support a lot of their claims. Like, they literally just got it from a game of telephone from the last 100 years, and that has become the basis for their entire belief system.
Right.
And that's horrifying to me.
I don't know. I like if you put a gun to my head and ask me my takes on the afterlife, I'd probably have some view of like a universalist heaven, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the concept of hell. So, but like a purgatory is acceptable.
I don't like the idea of hell because I don't think that. Okay,
it's kind of negative, right?
Well,
like a shitty way of thinking about things.
Well, it's just you know what it is. It's finality. It's
right.
Finality. It's the idea that this ends and then somebody suffers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, we're already suffering.
Right. Well, in regards to that, I heard a quote that was like, in heaven, earth will be the closest thing to hell, and then in hell, earth will be the closest thing to heaven.
Okay,
but
I like that. That's fun.
But I don't know. I think that like I don't know. I just don't like the concept of like, especially if you're believing the evangelical hell, where it's like,
right?
Oh, you didn't hear a convincing argument for Christianity. Suffer for eternity. That's well, I don't know about that one.
I mean, you know me. I have a tendency to lean Hindu on every argument. So I'm of the mind that reincarnation is probably not necessarily like a real thing in the sense that it's like a real thing, but I think it's just like there's a finite amount of zhuzh that makes up life.
Right.
And while it seems infinite, we don't actually know the barriers.
Right.
You know, we don't really know how those barriers work. And also the multidimensionality is, I think, also weirdly supported by Hinduism. I actually think that Hinduism has a lot of things that if you look at it a certain way, it starts to look scientific, which is, I mean, obviously not the case, but there are things that line up. I feel like the way that they define God for people is very nice. It's very good because it's very like natural God kind of idea,
right?
Which I support generally. Pantheism is also really cool. I mean, generally we're talking about the same thing, which is that whatever is enough.
Right.
Like, why look to a thing you can't see and imagine that it's running things when the thing that's running things is the nature of change that is observable right now? And so it's more just like, yo, check it out. Stop looking for a God out there who's going to do whatever and personify the stuff that is already a God to you now.
Right.
The stuff that like water as like some eternal element, right? Like shit like that. Anyway, so in that world, the concept of a fucking ghost is strange because it's like, well, so what? So does it like what? Not want to go into samsara, so it just like lingers in its body? It's like, I don't want to be an ant. I don't want to be a rat.
Do you get a choice? Like,
no, you don't get a choice.
Yeah,
The fuck?
Yeah. So it's
well,
like,
so why the fuck did they would never be like, yes, this person clearly had a choice to, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of stories of Hindu ghosts. I really don't know, but I do know, well, I mean, ghosts have existed in most cultures, so I totally get that. But also it's just like there's cultures that foster the concept of ghosts as like a purposeful thing, and then there's like ghosts as a byproduct of the thing.
Right.
So it's like, you know, ghosts sometimes are a narrative tool in a lot of cultures, but that doesn't necessarily make them tangibly true in the belief system of the culture. But in the United States, with evangelical thinking, for some fucking reason, we have completely fostered the idea that ghosts are not just like a narrative concept or some conceptual awareness, our ancestors interacting with us or something like that. It is literally
Karens.
a person who has lived after death is hanging out in their house in their favorite clothes and is walking around messing shit up and being a bitch to everyone. Like, that is a little different, I think, than what actually defines reality.
Right. I think on a ghost related tangent.
Yes.
I really like media that deals with the after death bureaucracy. I don't know. I like the concept of like you know, you have like the bureau of the freshly deceased, and you have just people doing paperwork for the freshly deceased and shit. I don't know. I think that's incredibly funny.
Oh yeah, like the bureaucracy concept.
Yeah, well, and it's like one of my favorite anime is Death Parade, and it's about arbiters who day in day out just sit there and judge pairs of people and either send them to reincarnation or to like enlightenment, based on games they play.
Okay.
But there's this like whole like they have to take a train there, and so there's all these like weird fucking arbiters in a train, and they like get off and they have to go on an elevator and they have to go to the floor and shit. Yeah.
Well, and like, listen, I don't mean to make things really awkward, but when you've seen people die, like, when you've seen a lot of people die in a lot of different ways, like, okay, I will admit that there are times where I've seen somebody die and it's been like very random. And you're just like, whoa, that was fast. Fuck, that guy died. Shit, dude. And it does feel like unjust, right? Where you're just like, well, that can't be. It's confounding, but still true.
Right.
You know, and it's an unfortunate element of life and death, right? Is that it can just, there it is. But on the other hand, I've also seen people die where it's like, you know, there was like a long build up to it. They knew it was coming, you know, and they were talked to about it, and they had to like make decisions about it and think about it, you know, and the person who's like got the weapon is like, I'm going to kill you. Do you want me to cut your head off while you're alive or while you're dead? You know what I mean? And they have to be like, ooh, can you shoot me first? You know what I mean? And they're like having to reason about it. And at that point you're thinking about like the absurdity of life and death as a concept as we seem to observe it. And you're like, well, that guy's not gonna fucking come back as a ghost. Like, he's fucking completely content with dying and going right back into the samsara or whatever it is that happens, or being nothing, regardless. Like, what does he give a shit? And so consciousness, it's a gift or a nightmare, but regardless, I don't think it's something we're so anchored to that we have to walk around on this earth without a body and just be frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of ludicrous, to be honest.
Yeah, imagine being pissed for like 300 years.
Well,
like, fuck off with that.
Exactly. Well, and imagine this as well. Imagine you never heard about ghosts, right? Ever. Your whole life. And you go 30 whole fucking years without anyone ever mentioning a ghost. You see people live and die. You experience some level of religion because, of course, there's religion in the world, whatever. But ghosts, you don't hear about that. And then you hit 30, you go to a bar, and somebody comes up and tells you about the concept of ghosts. And I don't mean tells you that they've seen a ghost and it deeply affected them, which is also my favorite bit about actual literal, like, very intense ghost stories, is how a lot of people see a ghost and then they genuinely are affected by it for the rest of their life, and it like drastically changes the course of their life.
Right.
But not that. The concept in and of itself, as we Americans tend to understand it, hitting somebody with that at the age of 30, never having heard of it, they would fucking think that person had completely lost it.
Right.
They'd be like, what are you fucking talking about? And because, like, the ramifications of it are absolutely nuts. But at the same time, like, okay, have you seen Haunting of Hill House?
No.
Well, so there's a bit in it where this guy who sees a ghost and it like fucks him up so bad that he gets addicted to drugs. He's just like trying to distract himself using drugs to like hide away from the ghost that's constantly tormenting him. And that in and of itself, that to me feels like it's like a legitimate phenomenon that's worth understanding, where it's like, here's somebody that is just deeply affected by some kind of spiritual experience that we can't necessarily like understand fully.
Right.
Because like I think we've all to an extent experienced something like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, yeah, I was working in a bar one time and a guy dressed up like Teddy Roosevelt walked in and I was like, "What's up, dude? You want a bar?" And he was like, "Hey, governor." I don't know what he sounded like. But then like he leaves and everybody was like, "I didn't see a guy at all." And I was like, "Holy shit, I saw the ghost of Teddy Roosevelt." It's like, congratulations, you're a fucking idiot. Like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that.
Bully, who wants to go kill some not white people?
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, you're good.
Yeah, well, and it's like, I like the idea that we're learning about spirituality all around the world now that with the internet. I don't know if you've heard about the invention of the internet, but it was really helpful for learning about other cultures.
I'm sorry, carry on.
But like learning about other cultures, you don't last long on these dumbass American ones. You really don't. Like you learn about other cultures and you're like, shit, dude, like, fuck the way we think about things. Why are we like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like African spirituality, very different.
Yes.
Or like fucking Japanese spirituality.
Right.
The way that they look at it. And even though Japan is like probably the most similar to us as far as like bad ideas right now, I think. Fucking, I don't know.
Before we end, I just want to.
So ghosts, shit or gold?
I just want to share my favorite historical bit about Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
He wanted to lead a bunch of people into war, and the army was like, no. And so he took a bunch of his own money. He's like, if I like paid for it myself, will you? And they're like, I guess. So he got all of his college buddies. He's like, I guess. Well, so we have an officer corps now because I used to play rugby with you. And he was like, we're gonna need people to fight. So he goes down to like the south and he recruits a bunch of fucking cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I feel like we're still missing something. So he goes to the indigenous peoples and recruits a bunch of them. So he's this like deranged, like just group of Harvard graduates, cowboys, and indigenous peoples who are fighting Cubans. Anyway, fun Teddy Roosevelt fact.
That's
Man was a little deranged.
That's a little deranged, I must admit. Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say ghosts, gold.
You're gonna
no explanation. No reason. I've just declared.
Are we just we're memeing it?
It's like
I'm gonna try and be serious about it.
Okay.
I think that the concept of ghosts are mid, because like I don't want to say it's outright shit, even though I would say that it is outright shit in American culture. I think we've got it pretty much wrong. Everything's real stupid over here. However, over yonder, in other countries, I think that there's a different understanding of it. And some of it kind of gets to me in a certain way. I like it when a ghost has a practical purpose. It's like it exists because of a reason.
Right.
Or somebody's tapping into like some ethereal existence and are communicating with it. That's interesting.
Listen, imagine how good the world would be if we could get ghosts to like mop the floors.
I fucking know.
Or like wash the dishes.
See, that's the other thing, is if ghosts existed, we would have found a way to capitalize on that shit, right?
Right, Jeff Bezos would have his like esoteric core.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's the same with aliens. Like, you know, I mean, a lot of people monetize the existence of aliens in a speculative sense, but nobody's ever monetized aliens in a literal sense where they're like, yeah, an alien crashed on my property. I shot the CIA when they came to get the spaceship. I posted about it on TikTok. I told everybody to come over and buy a ticket.
Right.
And I sold them popcorn and cotton candy, and I made millions of dollars. Like,
no, we have monetized on aliens. Haven't you seen the documentary X-Files?
Oh my god. Well, like, okay, the Skinwalker Ranch thing, you know about that at all?
Yeah.
So the fucking concept that there's like some weird UFO bullshit going on in the middle of nowhere, and this like rich asshole bought it and is trying to understand it, but they have captured like what they're monetizing the speculative sense,
right?
Of, is this a thing or is this not? Sometimes they catch weird footage, you know, but the fucked up thing is like I think we all learned in the last year that there's a weird, spooky correlation between the alien people, the Bigfoot people,
and the lizard people,
and the QAnon people.
Yeah.
And you go, why are they all together?
Right. Well,
you know?
it's because like esoteric fascism or Nazism, like, will literally, one of their like strategy for staying relevant is whatever's new. They'll like find a way to absorb it into their ideology, and then by proxy, like it's like if they conjoin these two beliefs, like Bigfoot's and esoteric fascism, then people believe in Bigfoot because all
have
of their
to admit, and even in a casual sense, that's possible.
And especially so, like it's like if all their other friends like tie Bigfoot into esoteric fascism, then they're going to do that too, right?
Right.
So that's why the people who are like actually conspiracy theory pilled get like used by people in power so often, is because it's there's a term for it and I can't remember
useful
what it is.
Esotericism, at least.
Yeah.
Well, and see, I think that's the worry, right?
Synchronicity is the term. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, no, that's the worry, I think. Is like, you know, I like the concept of believing in things that are ridiculous just on its face, you know, like I like the possibility that there's more out there than just this, even though I'm comfortable with just this. The idea of ghosts interests me mostly because it's like interesting. The stories are interesting. The experiences are interesting. But when you get, I think that it flirts, all of this shit flirts uncomfortably with esoteric fascism.
Right.
In such a weird sense that it's gotten to the point now when somebody's telling me about how they believe in aliens and premonitions and multiple dimensions and all this stuff, I don't think most of the time they're talking about anything in a scientific sense whatsoever. And they are talking about what they want to believe exists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not talking about what they believe in. They're talking about what they want to believe in.
Right.
And in order for them to believe it, it has to be manifested through themselves. Like they themselves have to enforce that believing it.
Right.
So I feel that's very largely true about most ghost things. It's like most people want to believe it so goddamn bad that they will believe the shit out of it. And if you challenge them, they will kill you. You know what I mean? And you're like, all right, very serious belief there. So this is why I'm going mid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the concept is interesting. I like the stories, but generally, I find that it flirts a little bit too close to a way of experiencing reality that I feel is limited and going to kill you.
That's fair. And with that,
yeah, I guess we need to end the podcast.
Yeah, we'll see you next week
when we talk about some other
random bullshit.
Yeah, we talk about chupacabras.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Oh, we could do.
It was a rat.
I mean, we've already mostly done a cryptid bit, but we could really dig into fucking cryptids.
Yeah, we should talk about Code Geass on the podcast.
Code Geass? I haven't seen it.
No, not the
Codex
book or Codex, whatever it's called.
I'll rant about Josephus for an hour.
Yeah, we could talk about that. That'd be interesting.
Just let me at him.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's been great being here and talking about something that isn't a movie. To be honest, I'm tired of film.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of movies.
We just need a little break from it.
Yeah, and well, especially Sigma male movies, because like there's only so much talking about like that mentality you can do before it's just sort of like, okay, we have explored every avenue of what that is, and everybody should clearly understand it at this point. There's not really a good reason to keep going. There are a lot of movies like this. They are all popular for pretty similar reasons. If you look past it, sometimes you can see interesting stuff, but usually not. Anyway. Ghost or mid. All right, I'll see you next time.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.